The two Bs making their way out to the middle. Bassarat from Trinidad and Gregory Brathwaite from Barbados. I'll add one more B to that then, just for good measure. Hello to all the Zouks fans. Hello, St. Lucia. Hello, Johan Blake, hoping for his Tallawahs to have the right result today. True Caribbean weather. Hopefully it stays that way for the duration of this contest. You're absolutely right. The captain said, Darren Sammy said, they're looking to fine-tune some stuff. And it's very important for the Zouks because they're the only team in this tournament without a batsman with more than 200 runs. They're the only team with Ruston Chase. I think he's in the 170s. So they've got some work to do. Danny Morrison would term it otherwise, but Rakeem Cornwall is back. Jimbo, good to see you. And of course, Mark Dial, who played well in that last game, getting into the 40s.
Yeah, Fidel Edwards back into the team. Missed out in the last one, rested. Want to get to his rhythm. Of course, the semi-finals being played at this very venue. A huge disparity between these two gentlemen, Rakeem Cornwall and Mark Dale. Just some final preparations as we get set for this, the final league match of the Heroes CPL 2020.
Lovely St. Lucia. Of course, in the west of the islands, you have the Pitons, Gros Piton, Petit Piton. And if you go north of the island, you get to Rodney Bay, Castries, Gros-Islet. You go inland, you have the dense forest where you can go zip lining. Wonderful beaches in that part of the world as well. Always enjoyed my visits to the lovely and warm and friendly island of St. Lucia, the town of Soufrière, situated just below Petit Piton. Volcanic in nature, like so many Caribbean islands. Of course, we've got the St. Lucia stand here as well. For me, the Zouks have been the most improved team this year compared to last season. Our match partner today, amongst others, in the bed. How significant is the communication between Mark Dial and Rakeem Cornwall batting in the power play, given, I suppose, the nature of the games? Rakeem Cornwall obviously a ball hitter rather than a sharp runner between the wickets.
Yeah, Mark Dial, good score in the last match, so he'll be full of confidence. And you're right, I'm not too sure how many times these two would have been paired at the top. Usually it's Andrew Fletcher and Rakeem Cornwall, and Andrew would know Rakeem Cornwall's game plan. Mark Dial is more of a touch player. He likes to run quickly between the wickets, so how that chemistry works is going to be interesting. But he has to be cognizant of the fact that Rakeem Cornwall plays in a certain way and has to make the adaptation. So many times we have our strengths as players, but we also have to be accommodating of our teammates. So in a team environment, you must be aware of the strengths and the weaknesses of your teammates and work in a complementary nature to strengthen those relationships. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes, but we know what we can expect from Rakeem Cornwall. He likes to score boundaries. His strike rate in the power play is phenomenal. He hasn't gone on. His highest score this season is 26. So that's a bit of a concern for coaching staff and the Flower Roddy Estwick, among others. But once Rakeem Cornwall stays there for any length of time, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get runs. You're going to get a high strike rate. You're going to get boundaries. The challenge, however, is to stay there for that length of time.
Let's play, gentlemen.
He's got a rampaging Fidel Edwards waiting to tear in at him. Edwards missed the last game. Powell has positioned himself at slip. Ball number 1. Good pace, good carry.
Yeah, he might have been expecting that Yorker, Raheem Cornwall. He's done that on a number of occasions. Fidel Edwards bowl it full and straight early up. So it's a good change up here from Fidel. Rapid. You just see him peeping on that front foot. Perhaps expecting a full one. So keep him guessing, Fidel. Good start, good pace, good carry. It's a good strip here. And let's see how he will respond now. Maybe he pushed him back to bowl that full delivery.
Played. You see, and that's what I'm talking about right there. Now that has gone to Blackwood's left. Usually Mark Dial should have been tearing down the other end to turn the strike over. That should have been a single. So that's the sort of change. There goes Mark Dial, but then he realizes he has to turn back. Take that chance and pitch up at Cornwall. Risk reward. Carlos Brathwaite, tall man at mid-off.
I just sense that he was just pushing him back. Fidel Edwards with the previous 2 deliveries, setting him up for this exact delivery. Look at that swing. And a slip in place as well. So good smart bowling from Fidel Edwards, the experience coming to the fore. Of course, the St. Lucia Zouks haven't made it to the top 4 since 2016. Only once in their Hero CPL campaign have they made it in the top 4. And this is the 8th edition. And 2020 has been a strange year.
I like this from Fidel Edwards. I really do. And even though Cornwall, if he hits to the leg side, it'll be with the wind to a short boundary. I think it's worth the hustle. 38-year-old Fidel Edwards, my goodness.
Yeah, that was quick. He was nowhere near playing that ball, Raheem Cornwall. Andrew Russell, he's enjoying this. Some good fire here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
Top of off, top of off. Don't overpitch, top of off. Oh, don't go there. Jimbo's just sat on that and caressed it down the ground. You go, Raheem.
Talk about it being a batsman's game. You just miss your length, and this is what happens. So, on the back of 4 really good deliveries from Fidel Edwards, just is marginally. And Raheem Cornwall, while he says thank you very much, final delivery in the over. He'd want to close this off. Fidel Edwards. Raheem Cornwall, on the other hand, might just be searching for another boundary.
Dre Ross backpedaling and does not judge it and palms it into the boundary. That is where you can tell his lack of fitness. He was hobbling, never got into position 8 without loss. Fidel Edwards cannot believe it. Hands on hips still. 2 minutes later. No position. You're talking about a guy who, when fit, is a phenomenal athlete, could not get there. Not moving freely. As much excitement as we've had all day in the space of 6 balls.
Yeah, very eventful, that first over. The last delivery of that over should have been a wicket. Misjudged it there by Andrew Russell. He should have ran back and get in that drop zone as quickly as possible. And to add insult to injury, He palmed it across the boundary for 4. So 2 boundaries in that first over from Raheem Cornwall and the St. Lucia Zouks. And spin being introduced. Spin of Sami Permall. So Mark Dial, he might just like this, hitting towards the short end, hitting with the turn.
Or down the ground. Straight. Lovely shot from Mark Dial.
Yes, a really good shot because of the direction of the hit. He was hitting straight. He wasn't going across the line. So just presenting the full face of the bat and through the line of the ball. A couple bounces into the boundary. So that will do 1 bounce actually. His confidence and will have good first delivery. Remember.
No single. And that's why DL has to change his game. Dre Ross was hobbling in from the edge of a circle.
Here we go, fella. Oh. Yes, Permy. Yes, Permy.
One of the things with that catch, Sammy, one of the techniques I always heard the great Richards talk about, an excellent fielder, is to turn in a halfway side-on position, not backpedaling. So you're not going back this way. You're in a half sideways position, eye on the ball, shoulder, left shoulder away from the ball, and you're going back this way, not moving backwards. That allows you, 1, to keep your eye on the ball, but to move quicker.
Yeah, if you just look at that movement from Andrew Russell, he was backpedaling. So he would not have gotten the distance that he wanted to get in that drop zone quickly enough. And he was always moving whilst the ball was coming down towards him. And once you're moving, that eyes, it's always going to be difficult.
Yes, for us.
13 without loss.
So what are you going to see with this pair? Boundaries and dot balls. Not going to see lots of singles and rotation of the strike. 4 changes for the Tallawahs, 3 changes for the Zouks. Just confirmation of the changes made to both these teams as they still strive to get their best 11. Of course, a few players being rested just to keep them fresh. Yeah, Andrew Russell almost needed a side shuffle as opposed to that back pedal, and he will know the importance of that wicket, that Raheem Cornwall wicket. Raheem Cornwall likes the Jamaica Tallawahs, remember that. He likes scoring against them.
Yeah, he got 75 and 51 against them in the 2 games last season. He was on fire with Fletcher at Sabina Park in particular. Good single, which means we've put the kiss of death on him and he'll be dismissed in this over. But this is where he was so good hitting through. That was a superb pitch as well, I have to say. Sabina Park last season was brilliant. Just hitting through the line, as is his wont. Love it when the big man catches fire. Changing the field. Dre Ross has gone back to long on. Phenomenal strike rate last season. Chance of 2, no chance of 2 there.
Yeah, going on the leg side. But in addition to the boundary hitting, you'll need to find a way to rotate the strike. And Mark Dial, not too sure how often he would have faced this sort of pace from Fidel Edwards, so it's a test for him, a challenge for him. He likes to score boundaries, he likes to get on with it, but again, an opportunity at the top, coming off a 14 the last match of 33 deliveries. Just make use of these opportunities.
It's a good point, actually. Fastest deliveries, FedEx fastest deliveries of Heroes CPL. Fidel Edwards at 38 is right up there. O'Shane Thomas, he's out. Sped O'Shane, who's almost half his age. Remarkable. I go to the gym late at night, Fidel's in there on his own, doing his work. Great example. Tell you a story, Samuel. You would have been too young, but when I made my first class debut, the year that I made my first class debut in 1987, I played with Mark Dial's dad, Dionarine Dial, who was a phenomenally proficient batsman at domestic level in Trinidad. He played against Guyana that season. I think he got a half century in the first game, and then he had the shock of his life when he went to Kensington Oval to face Barbados. It was his first season and his last, simply because of the uplift in the tempo of pace bowling that he faced then, and it would have shocked a lot of us. I remember sitting there in absolute shock, watching some of the greatest fast bowlers the world has ever seen tearing at Kensington Oval. So, man, that was an experience. So for young Dial, shorter format, Malcolm Marshall, you can think of one piece of that. Of course, Joel Garner.
Carlos has to contribute, has to come to the party. Wonderful view here from the Eldorado Skycam of this magnificent facility, the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. We've heaped praises incessantly about this facility, and quite rightly so. We've seen the drainage, we understand the potential of this venue. So much more can be done here for the development not only of Trinbago cricket but West Indies cricket.
That could be safe. It's one of the drawbacks of not having the fine leg within the power play and using the short ball. 17 without loss.
Yeah, Mark Dial, we're talking about his opportunity here, Bish. Given that chance at the top, they've opened, like we mentioned before, with Andre Fletcher and Rakeem Cornwall. They've sort of lengthened their batting by putting Fletcher at that number 3 position. So it means Mark Dial, barring some unlikely event, will also open in that semi-final clash. So it's a great opportunity at a great level, a great stage for Mark Dial to really showcase his talent. He's done it in bits and patches, but want to see it for a longer time. Oh, much extended period of time. So if he can get a half century under his belt, like I mentioned, he got a 40 in the last match, but an opportunity here to get a half century. Mujib, the new bowler, He's been a wicket taker, but not so in the last 3 matches. He's gone wicketless, and that has been a concern for the Tallawahs.
In the gap and 4.
Yeah, he picked the length quickly here, Mark Dial. A little bit short on the shorter side from Mujib, and hitting with the wind towards the short side. Good connection, good placement from Mark Dial. His second boundary in this innings.
Oh, Ladder there, dads. Beautiful there, Mudge.
Very well bowled. One of the key things for batting units today is not to leave any runs out there. Very good last delivery, googly from Mujib.
Down.
Lovely touch.
Turn up.
I think Robin Powell alluded to the fact yesterday that only 1 wicket between his 2 primary spinners was something he wanted done better today.
And when they started this tournament, Mujib was regularly taking wickets and showed the potency of this Jamaica Tallawahs bowling lineup. Not so in the last 3 games, and hence the results.
Yeah!
Caught behind, edged. Might have been a googly once again from Mujib. And we spoke about wicket taking. Well, he's back at it. His first wicket in 3 matches.
Yeah, definitely the googly went away from him. And Robin Powell will be hoping this is the beginning of more wicket-taking presence from Mujib, and later on Sandy. Dial goes for 13, 25 for 1.
Bowling change left and wrong.
Andre Fletcher.
And then this is the reason why the Spiceman is here. Googly, well bowled, good line, just enough turn to get that edge, and he'll enjoy that. He's a wicket taker, loves getting those wickets, and that's an early good sign for the Jamaica Tallawahs. Sammy Pumol switches ends.
Excellent stop. That had 4 written all over it. Alex Jordan, where are you?
Here I am on the sideline. Well, you know it's a St. Lucia Zouks home game, and they've got a wonderful initiative going on. I'm here with Captain St. Lucia himself, Darren Sammy. And in light of the COVID period, Darren Sammy, of course, many students having to learn online, and many students in need in St. Lucia not having that equipment. Indibet has got a wonderful initiative.
Yes, they have, you know, and I think that's the first time, you know, as a franchise we getting that sort of opportunity for them to give something back to the people of St. Lucia, and I want to big up our sponsors in the bet. You know, like you said, with the COVID situation, with school starting on Monday and everything is part face-to-face, part virtual. So I think the initiative to help the Ministry of Education, you know, and donating those laptops to those kids in need will go a long way.
Let me just clarify, for every boundary, for every six, for every wicket taken by the Zouks, money will be donated by Indibet to the Ministry of Education in St. Lucia. And I know this really strikes your fancy because your foundation has done similarly.
Yes, earlier this year, my annual Back to School scholarship grant partnered with Digicel. We gave away 32 laptops to students in need, and also we gave them a scholarship grant, you know, financial support, because you know it's tough, you know. And I remember Roger Harper once said to me, to whom much is given, much is expected. And you know, the sponsors together with those who have, you know, especially in those times, it's important that we show the love to the people who really need.
Well, it's totally inspiring, and Ian Bishop and I discussed this morning just what cricket brings to people who don't have access, who are not wealthy people, and here Indibet now bringing laptops to the children of St. Lucia. Tell me something about that gorgeous new kit, Sammy.
I'm actually loving it. I don't know, the previous owners didn't like the blue, so they went to yellow. But I think the true St. Lucian fans, they love the blue. My phone been ringing, everybody's phone, everybody wants a blue uniform. So hopefully that could bring a change in fortune for us, true St. Lucian colors, and that we could go out there and really represent what that blue stands for, which is the gorgeous sea and sky at home.
Is it Helen of
the West, you know, the most beautiful island in the Caribbean, and I say that very proudly. Voted #1 destination for so many years, you know, for honeymoon. It's all about the love.
Sammy, it's already changed your fortune. St. Lucia Zouks in the playoffs. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Alex, you remind Sammy Luke 12:18, to whom much is given, much is required of. 26 for 1. 11 of 17 for Cornwall. Much work to do.
Oh, the rack attack wants it. Get through for a single.
Come on, Top Gun.
Now you got to take a quick single occasionally, just occasionally, Rakeem. Well, he clothed it enough and realised he got a gap there. The big fella.
Here we go, Moods.
And Chatters, a lovely grin on his face, and the glasses are on. Hang on a minute, hang on a minute. And the Spice. And he's underway now. And so's Darren Danga.
Make him run, lads, make him run.
Good afternoon, Danny Morrison. These two teams, possible finalists. Beautiful shot by Rakeem Cornwall. Apparently he just heard me. The Zouks, they have a chance to win the semi-final and get to the final. They're going to play like that.
More money for the Ministry of Education, courtesy of this Tom Mix. From Rakeem. Those sixes hit and boundaries. Ministry of Education in St. Lucia. Nice donation.
Just a reminder of the semi-final matches. The Knight Riders will play the Jamaica Tallawahs, and then the Zouks will take on the Warriors. Zouks
and the Tallawahs win, they can possibly find themselves in the final of Hero CPL 2020. Take it for what it's worth.
Oh, just a little easy swing. Mr. R. Cornwall. Nice chunk of it.
I'll catch him. Mudgy, so nice, Mudgy.
Now, just that was our first maximum. Interesting. Did like that first over from Fidel Edwards too. Opening up the shoulders and the front hip.
Slip in place. Mujib just staying outside that off-stump line. Hakeem Cornwall don't really shuffle across. He stands beside the ball and frees his arms.
Rack's going to keep the strike into the Guardian power play. 35 for 1. Unlucky 13 for Mark Dale. Thank you, Mr. Bassarat. Nice teeth. Sun is out. Bit of specks out there. Big Carlos into the fray. Oh, looking for a bit of boshing, as I mentioned at the pitch report. Let's go with that breeze, as it's favouring right-handers on that onside. Little pickups and flicks. The bottom hand, very hard surface. You did the pitch report for match 29 down there. Oof. Concrete.
Nice surface for batting. It's been a concern for both teams in contest today. More so the Zouks, that 1-2-3 position. Might be trying to figure out what's the best combination for that semi-final game. So Andre Fletcher opening early on with Hakeem Cornwall.
Spicy goes up. Oh, that's a Republic Man classic. Spiceman can't believe it. That is an absolute cracker. Jermaine Blackwood, the speed demon. Well, I didn't think he was going to get there at first, but he has.
Again, instability at the top of the order for this Zouks side. Darren Sammy will not be settled in his mind still. Fletcher, most experience, departs for a really good catch by Jermaine Blackwood. Gone for 1, 36 for 2.
Oh, yeah. Bit drafty back there for Glenn Phillips. Roston Chase has come in because of this. Guy with a great grab.
Was this an example for Andre Russell. Blackwood had to turn and run. Good judgment. Good pair of hands as well. Jermaine Blackwood kept his eyes on the ball all the way.
The rack. Attack. Oh, it has. The breeze has helped it go all the way from Maxi. Oh, I love you to pieces.
He's a strong man, Rakeem Cornwall. Quite tall. This got onto him quicker than he expected, but had a good, powerful swing. Just managed the top edge and flies all the way. Hero maximum number 2 for the Zouks in the innings so far.
Connects, it'll disappear as per. Just so strong. And then you've got the other comparison with Roston Chase. Chalk and cheese. Languid and lithe, more classical stroke play, more orthodox. Rakeem Cornwall, big burly fella at the other end. The wood chopper, carving it up. 1 to go on the 7th. Can't find a gap. We've had 7 and it's 42 for 2. Yeah, a little bit of regrouping now. We've had the Guardian Life power play. Now we're into the start of the middle part of this innings. Cornwall. It's a runner ball pretty much. Dearly love to see him step on the pedal. For Rakeem, whereas you've got Roston Chase just coming in. 1 for 17 and 1 for 7. Majib and Brathwaite. I thought Edwards was nice and fiery and a little unlucky. Sandeep Lamachani, wicket taker. One of the mystery men here at Hero CPL 8. Leaden skies out the back, makes a gorgeous light. There's the bright sunshine, and out the behind us, dark and grey. Very excited. I think just turned. No neck, but geez, it looked for all intents and purposes. You look at it, it looks like a little neck to slip.
Also drift away at the last minute with a little bit of turn into first slip. That's the advantage of bowling from the southern end with the wind blowing across the ground.
Oh, it's beaten everyone. Got very cute here. Umpire, yeah, thought so. Beaten everyone. Here's the signal. Thank you, Mr. Brathwaite. Watch this down the leg side. Just about takes leg pole.
Luckily for Roston Chase, that conventional leg break didn't have a lot of turn on it.
Yeah, very fortunate there, Roston Chase. That's not a bad option. That's that paddle we keep alluding to about West Indian batters needing to execute that more, practice it more. Just a nice little tap and go. Not a super amount of risk as long as you get the pad and line and hopefully make contact. Rodman at slip, just sorting things. Time for some El Dorado takeoff. the sky cam. Batteries in and there you go.
Can I hear that engine again?
It's working.
I think you need servicing, Danny.
Ball in there, Sandy. Ball in there, boy.
Lubricated by the sponsor's product. Just to get us up again. Like Chatters. Good to see him back and playing.
Here we are, lad. Here we are.
Talk about Lenny Kravitz move over. Oh! Oh! And boom! That's gone all the way. Hero Maximum. Oh! I want to fly away.
I want to fly away.
Oh, yes. Wonderful stuff. Coach isn't impressed, Andy Flower, but we are, and hope you are at home. Look at this. Through the line of it. In fact, geez, it looked like he got all of it. Lenny Kravitz, look out. Oh, the Google. It's knocked him over. Just like that. The drama that is unfolding here at Lara. Sixes, then poles a light.
Well, it's all happening. First, Hero Maximum, and then the wrong one going through the defense of Rakeem Cornwall, knocking back the leg stump. Look at the passion from Lamachani. Cornwall goes for a quick fire 32. It's 53 for 3.
Boston Chase joined now by Mohammed Nabi. Afghan star, senior in the pack. Afghans here, the 8th edition of the Hero CPL. Great to see this man as ever. Had a good time of it. Wonderful performance with the ball, and he's chipped him with a bat from time to time. They've crossed over in terms of the end of the over, and it's Brathwaite. The dive out there, was that Fidel, the old man? Fancy a dive? What a beauty this is.
Just set Rakeem Cornwall up a bit. Ball the conventional leg break first. He was struck over that long on fence. And a similar delivery, pitching in the same length, same line, but coming into the right-handed Cornwall.
Once again, top order West Indian being bamboozled by a wrist spinner. That's a nice seed, bit of bounce. Yeah, he could have driven a bus through that gap with Rakeem. Semi-finals coming up. Get on it. Remember, those captains are worth double. Dream11.com. If you haven't downloaded the app as well. Match 30. Geez, we've chewed through a few over the last few weeks. Could be a wide, and is.
I'm a little bit surprised to see Mohammed Nabi come ahead of Najibullah Zadran. Nabi hasn't scored a half century so far. He's thrived on playing the death overs with his power play, his skill, ability to bat both pace and spin. Zadran, the most specialist in terms of that batting role. Zouks surely still experimenting with their batting options, their batting order.
Action replay of his other miss. Gets that length right on a surface like this. This is where Brathwaite, when he bowls cutters, just see that nice little bit of wrist work there. Yeah, whilst it didn't carry all the way, you can see it was a slightly off-pace delivery. So that height helps. Very good. Brathwaite is in rhythm.
Danny, I remember when we played the inaugural Champions League T20 tournament in India as captain alongside Karen Pollard and Dwayne Bravo. Pollard was a player where you had to give him the liberty to play his natural game and not take too much into consideration the game situation. There are some players that thrive on playing their natural game, and if they think too much about the situation, it just tends to stunt their progress, their productivity. That's why I think it's very similar to Mohamed Nabi. You want him to come in where he can express himself and not be bogged down with the game situation. Right now it requires a period of consolidation. I don't think that's when he's at his best. Rather, Najibullah Zadran just take the team out of this crisis, consolidate a bit, and then allow Nabi to come and just play his natural game. Finish the innings.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. He's more of a finisher, isn't he, Nabi? He tends to take that long handle when you want to go big. You're looking for 4s and 6s. He's coming up the order ahead of his countryman. Nudgy. Width on offer. Big side of the ground, so it will be cut off by Lamakhani. So 9 done, 58 for 3.
Players accumulating runs for St. Lucia Zouks in Hero CPL 2020. Roston Chase, 175 so far. Fletcher second. Zadran third, ahead of Mohamed Nabi. Cornwall also in that top 5.
Just what Darren and I are on about. Just swap the ends there. Najibullah and Nabi. Steps in the order. He was unlucky for Al Edwards with good heat and settled Rakeem Cornwall to a certain degree. So those first 4 deliveries should have had him caught too. Pomar, he's back in the side. Extra to start.
Permy, you yeah, Permy. All you yeah, Permy.
So both sides have been ringing some changes and trying a different balance. 4 changes from Jamaica and 3 to St. Lucia. Just to try and settle things, maybe, as you say, for Tuesday.
To add further to what I was saying about Karen Pollard, this was way back in 2009, 2010. He was still learning his trade as a batsman, as an all-rounder. His greatest asset was playing the last 4 or 5 overs in a T20 innings. And you look at Karen Pollard today, he's able to come in a lot earlier, address a situation, and then still play that cameo at the end of the innings. That's the nature of his development as a player. That's what you want to see with players who dominate at the back end of the innings. You also want to see them be able to show batsmanship skills, address a situation, take their team out of the pressure, and take control.
Good hustle there from Walton. Really has had a horror as well this edition. It was only about, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago? He was the player of the CPL. Truck, oh, straight at him. Been caught by his countryman. Majid has taken a smart catch, and Mohammad Nabi's got to go because he's picked out an Afghan.
I make the point, he's got to bat in that position where he doesn't have to take into consideration the situation of his team. He's a stroke maker. This is a weird space for him. Mohammad Nabi picks out the field at short fine leg, and he has to go. Big blow for St. Lucia Zouks. He's gone for 2. It's 63 for 4, and it's the Angostura LLB drinks break.
.63 for 4 for Mole to continue. And Zadran is away immediately out to deep cover point. And the big wicket of Mohammad Nabi looking to paddle sweep this around the corner. Looks so surprised. It was like he thought, what are you doing there? I thought you were a square of the wicket, not at 45. And it made it even worse given it his countryman Mujib there taking the catch, or maybe he was just surprised he held on to it. Anyway, Tallawahs aren't going to complain because that's a big wicket. That'll be wide. Good afternoon, Samuel Badri.
Good afternoon, Tom Moody, and to all our viewers.
Keep coming here,
You can
Permy,
see the
boy.
line that Basami Pomal is trying to attack, that straight line.
Oh.
Very much a middle and leg stump line. Looking to turn to off. That's the end of a successful over. We're halfway. 10 overs gone. It's 66 for 4.
Hey, Ross, you just the deep wicket. You the deep square for me, please. You the deep square. You the deep square. That's some bowling change. Right arm over.
Projected scores. Tens is going to get them 166. I think prior to the start of the match and what they've seen, how this pitch has behaved, I think they would have targeted between that 150, 160 mark. So they've got some work to do. Najibullah Zadran have to have a good day out. Beautifully swept, but picking the fielder out. Sandeep Lamachana is back into the attack from the other end.
And these are the types of shots we talk about to rotate the strike, to get your boundaries, the paddle sweep, the slug sweep, the reverse sweep, the switch hits. And if you can have these shots in your armory, you become a really difficult batsman to bowl to. The spin bowlers will have a difficult task trying to contain you, trying to bowl dot deliveries. And typically the West Indian batsmen, we don't seem to have that as part of our skill set.
Oh. Lovely,
Well, this is going to be an interesting matchup here with Najibullah Zadran and spin in general, not just Lamachani, but just all the spin bowlers. He's been brought up on a diet of spin bowling. You look at all the Afghan spin bowlers they have to their disposals. He would have faced a lot of them in the nets, so you'd expect him to be well equipped. And there's that reverse paddle. We've seen him play that before.
So nice here, Sandeep.
And it makes you think as a bowler where you want to bowl in terms of line, what sort of feel you want to have, which fielder in the deep, and forces him to bowl a seam up delivery. So just that shot alone has the bowler thinking, look at this, just seam up.
Make him do something.
I think he bowled that because he's expecting him to reverse sweep again. Just wanted a quicker delivery just to do him for pace. What's he going to toss up here?
Ooh.
Oh, beautifully bowled. Wonderful dipping leg break.
Yeah, good delivery, good follow-up from Lamachani. Slip in position, just waiting.
Wrong and coming. Look out. Half an appeal, and that's an excellent over. Just one coming from it. It's 67 for 4. Well, the 4 wickets is the concern here. In those first 10 overs, it's prevented the Zouks to really get going in this innings. It's the one reasonably tall tower, and the rest have been inconsistent. So really in this back end they'll be hoping to get a few big double-figured overs so they can get that par score of around that 150, 160.
And Tom Moody were in match 30, the final league match of this tournament. And you'd have sat here in the come box looking on at all of these matches, all these teams. It shot down the ground. Will it be taken? No. Might have gone all the way for 6. Yes, it has. Confirmation. So what a shot from Ruston Chase. Just advances down the track on full face of the bat.
Yeah, classy shot. Nicholas Curtin running from deep mid-off, nearly pulled off a spectacular catch. Unbelievable effort from him. Back in the side.
Oh, heavy chip.
They'll get through. So an ideal situation, a big boundary and then following it up with rotating the strike.
Look at this effort from Nicholas Curtin, West Indies emerging player. Speed and full stretch. So good commitment from the youngster. I was just about to ask you which players you would have seen in this tournament who caught your eye, your observant, analytical eye.
Caught me on the hop. I'd like to do a bit of homework before you throw that at me. Very harsh. I think we've seen an interesting tournament this year because obviously we've been restricted, playing in one destination, 2 venues, and the conditions have been challenging to say the least for players. They've also come from lovely touch, just a little tickle around the corner and you get rewarded with a boundary.
Yeah, these are the shots that make these batsmen so difficult to bowl to. And if you practice these shots consistently enough and you become skillful at them, then it really enhances your game. Ruston Chase, as we know, test all-rounder, but he's managed to adapt to this format and done a really good job for the St. Lucia Zouks, both with bat and ball. And again, he forces that change in field. So a 45 in place now, which opens up that entire mid-wicket region. And that's what you want to do as a batsman. You want to dictate where the fielders are.
Good finish, Kermit. Good finish, boy.
12 overs gone. It's 80 for 4. $80 for 4. Chase 21 off 15. Zadran just starting to get himself settled. Just 2 for him off 7 balls. I'm still thinking, Sammy, I'm still thinking. A big appeal. Is there an inside edge? Certainly keeper and bowler think so.
But the man who is in charge doesn't think so. The most important man, Umpire Bassarat. No daylight there. So clearly no bat involved. Good decision from Umpire Bassarat. Bowlers always think they have their man.
Yeah, it's a good decision that. I think it may have just clipped the front pad on the way through. That's a beauty. This is a real masterclass. You'd been enjoying this, Sammy, wouldn't you? It's leg spin from Lamachani.
Yeah, just confirmation there. Glenn Phillips, despite his protestations.
There's a big appeal there. This is going to be close. My co-commentator saying outside off air. Let's see if he's right.
Yeah, clearly outside off Tom Moody. I was looking at the screen. I wasn't looking at the play. I was looking at this monitor, so I saw that he got hit just outside off stump.
Just.
Oh.
Okay. Jaden Sills, I reckon he has got an extremely exciting future. I really like the look of what he brings. I love his action. I love what I see around his attitude. Ashmead Ned, the left arm spinner. I think the other one from the same franchise, Kevin Sinclair, the offie. His bowling, not so much his flipping when he takes wickets, that's an added bonus, but I really like what he's doing with the ball. So there's 3 bowlers for you, and a wonderful maiden over. 80 for 4. Well, just the 2 runs off 11 balls. Roston Chase against Lamachani. He has bowled beautifully. Quite sharp turn. He's bowled at a very good pace too, which has made it difficult for the batsmen to be able to use their feet. He's bowled 11 consecutive dot balls. With some effort. Can you add to that list of the 2 spinners and the 1 pace bowler from the Knight Riders?
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult because the batting really has been the Achilles heel of most of these teams, and none of the young batsmen really came through. And this has been difficult conditions, good bowlers, good foreign bowlers, a long break that these players haven't played cricket for a long time. So it was always going to be difficult for the batsmen. So outside of the usual suspects, the Hetmeyer, the Puran, the Pollard, the Glenn Phillips, there really haven't been anyone who put their hands up with the bat. And so I'm really struggling to think of someone from a batting point of view. Maybe Mark Dale with a 40 in the last game. Kyle Mears had a 80 at the Queen's Park Oval. But they've been few and far between, and that has been the problem, the issue, the consistency or the lack thereof from the young batsmen in the Caribbean. And they got opportunities. Truth be told, they got opportunities. Roston Chase hasn't played T20 matches before, given a chance in this team. Blackwood in the last match getting a half century, so it's coming along for some of them. But I'm sure by their own admission, they would have expected a little bit more. So to answer your question, I can't add any to that list. It's been a tough tournament.
Well, I told you it was a hard question to start with, so maybe you should think about it before you ask questions like that. Okay, we came up with a couple there, and I think West Indies cricket can be very excited about those 3 young bowlers. Nicely worked into the leg side. Looking for 2. This could be tight. Going to have a look upstairs, but I think he's home.
Yeah, not much enthusiasm from the usually enthusiastic Glenn Phillips, so that is usually an indication. as to whether or not the batsman is in or out. So confirmation here might be closer than we think. It's a tight one. Just in between that frame is missing. So they look at the other end, other side. Full stretch from Ruston Chase. No dive though. I'm thinking not out.
Yeah, it's in between frames, isn't it? So I don't think they can make an assumption that he's in or out. So you've got to give the benefit to the batsman. But we're not the third umpire. Well, there you go. A lot tighter than we expected, though. So a good throw.
Lovely, Mujib.
14 overs gone. It's 88 for 4.
Here we are, Sandeep.
So 88 for 4, and it just appears that the Zouks are just getting stuck a little bit here, just through the quality of the spin of Sandeep Lamachani. He's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 8. Bowled 2 overs from the end he's bowling now, and 1 from the other end where he started. Bowled a maiden the last over. Oh, there's trouble here. No, bit of confusion. Non-striker wanted it.
Lovely boy.
And Chase had no idea whether he should go or stay.
Quite a number of dot balls to Ruston Chase, so he's feeling the pressure now. He's trying to get off strike, if not get a boundary. And so the pressure is telling. Can Lamachani continue to exert that pressure?
Ooh.
Or breakthrough. Single into the offside.
So nice here, Sandeep.
I think that is the best result, is that Chase has to get the left-hander on strike. It is a better matchup. And as I mentioned earlier, Najibullah Zadran is a little bit more familiar with wrist spin and mystery spin because he's brought up on that type of bowling. Given the depth of quality in Afghanistan cricket, spin bowling quality. And that's through. Not sure whether he's got any bat on that, but it doesn't matter from a team perspective. It's still 4 runs.
Yeah, opting for that reverse sweep again, Najibullah. Runs given, just that bat making connection there and sped away past the wicketkeeper, past the slip fielder. So it's a welcome boundary for the St. Lucia Zouks.
Conventional sweep, picking out short fine leg. One overseas young player that's been impressive is Naveen Ul-Haq from Afghanistan, the young quick bowler. This is beautifully struck, and it's going to go all the way for 6. What a hero marksman that is.
Yeah, what a shot. Some players cannot hit it like that in the conventional manner. But this is a reverse from Najibullah Zadran. And just adds to the kitty for the Ministry of Education in St. Lucia. Another boundary for the St. Lucia Zouks. Expensive over from Sandy Blanichani, certainly by his standards, 11 coming from it so far.
Yes, I mentioned Naveen Al-Haq. I think he's been a nice surprise in this tournament. A lot of people wouldn't have seen him, but he's been very, very skillful. So a seam-up delivery to finish the over. 12 coming from it. 15 gone. It's 100 for 4.
Partnership of 37 from 33 between these two, Chase and Zadran. I really would have liked to see Zadran come ahead of Nabi. I just feel with the departure of Nabi, the Zouks, they've lost someone who can really finish an innings off on a high. Finds the gap. Will be a couple runs. Powerful strike off the cricket ball. Najibullah Zadran. We'll have to reload. In this tournament, we've seen batsmen score runs consistently. Some struggle to deal with the conditions. The yardstick which I use to assess batsmen is the ability to tolerate risk as against risk aversion and how they manage themselves. Look at Glenn Phillips, manages risk very early in his innings, and then he's a little more risk tolerant. That's why he can explode at the end of the innings. Some players can't change gears in terms of managing that risk, and it's a real issue for many teams. Risky, but enough on it. Zadran gets a hero maximum. He's changing gears.
Top class shot from Najibullah Zadran. He's standing way outside off stump because he believes that Brathwaite is going to focus on that line to keep him away from the short side. And it allows him to be able to get close to that and smack it for a hero maximum. In fact, if I were Ruffman Powell, I would have gone to Fidel Edwards early to Najibullah Zadran. He doesn't necessarily like the short ball at pace.
That's gone. That's a big one. Consecutive hero maximum now.
And that's where I stress pace. Carlos Brathwaite is medium pace. So he moved across the off stump again, anticipating line, and peppered that short boundary on the leg side. Important runs for the Zouks.
This is turning out to be a fantastic innings by Zadran. 31 from just 13 deliveries. More dominant batsman in this partnership. Zouks, they've not forged many big partnerships throughout this Hero CPL 2020. This was Rakeem Cornwall earlier, 32 from 29. Played some powerful strokes. Just 5 50-run partnerships so far for the Zouks in this edition of Hero CPL. There's Rakeem Cornwall in your Dream 11. Create your own team. You can log on to dream11.com or download the app and select your side, your fantasy team. Extras 11 so far in the innings. 6 wides. Lifebuoy hand washing station, ever so present at the ground. Turning out to be an expensive over for the Tallawahs. 17 runs conceded so far and 1 delivery left. Talk about risk aversion. Roston Chase has batted in that sort of manner. 26 from 26. Hasn't really played any risky shots so far. Just try to open up now. Gets a single to end the over. 16 gone, 118 for 4. Last over, the most expensive by the Tallawahs in the innings. Zouks moving in the right direction. Lamachani 1 for 20 from his 4. Versami Pomal, another bowler, finishing his complement of 4. 1 for 27 he produced with the ball. Gillett Edwards with 2 overs remaining. 1 to Mujib. And Carlos Brathwaite still 1 over remaining in his quota. As we've seen from teams, a heavy offside feel. Tallawahs and the Zouks already qualifying for the semi-final. They'll want to win to get to this, the prestigious Hero CPL trophy. Which team will it be this year? Those semi-finals coming up on Tuesday. First, the Night Riders finishing atop of the table. The Hero Motorcorp leaderboard will be up against the Tallawahs at 10 a.m. local time. Then the second semi-final, the Warriors take on the Zouks at 5:30 p.m. local time.
Watching out now for what Edwards serves up to Najibullah Zadran. The leg side field, there's not a fielder saving one. All four fielders are deep on the boundary, so you're hitting into the wind. I suspect Edwards would bowl straight at him. Piece off the ball allows the single, smart batting.
The brain behind this Zouks team, Roddy Eswick, far right, Andy Flower, centre, and Darren Sammy, the captain, with his pads on. Rockman Paul will have to be mindful of the time he takes to change his feel for the left-hander and the right-hander. It's taking a long time to get fielders in position.
That's what I'm talking about. Now Zadran has been at the crease with 21 deliveries and 33. This is where your analyst is supposed to say to you, as good a player as Zadran is, history says that short ball discomforts him. He does take on that pull or that hook. He has to hit it into the wind and with deep fielders on the leg side. If it was me bowling, I'd bowl another one. He can't give him room outside the off stump, otherwise he'll ramp it over the short third man. Exactly. You smell blood as a fast bowler. You just know when a batsman isn't comfortable.
All arrows pointing in favor of Fidel Edwards, as you rightly mentioned, Ian. Zadran afraid to take him on. That's a degree of thought you want to see in matchups, understanding players and their limitations.
The problem is now that he's had the one for the over, Edwards, so he has to be very precise with his length and not over pitch. Better he plays it off the back foot, pace off the ball. 1-2-2 for 4.
Edwards, Mujib, Brathwaite with an over left. Very good platform here for the Zouks to try and get close to 155. They'll need to score at 11s to get there. Miscued, should be out, should be taken and spilled. And Nkrumah Bonner on the field, the substitute. Rather elementary.
Nkrumah. I think it's Dre Russ who has left the field, and he left the field some time ago. So even though the wind is pushing the ball towards Bonner, Zadran thinks he's gone. Totally misjudged it. Ended up taking it, trying to take it a lot lower. And I'm sorry, Nkrumah, as much as I like you as a person, that is a blooper. Never even touched it.
Here we go, Mudge. Here we go, Mudge.
Has another chance. He has another chance. Just short. Nkrumah Bonner. Those young kids looking on. I'm sure your coaches will tell you about getting both hands high, keeping your eyes on the ball, then having that give to cushion the ball.
Here we go, Mudge. Here we go, Mudge.
Nkrumah Bonner didn't do any of that.
You again here, Mudge. You again here, boy.
Should be gone this time. Not again. Carlos Brathwaite wouldn't allow that blunder to happen for the second time. The Tallawahs, they finally get rid of Zadran.
Cost them a run, but then Nkrumah Bonner will be the happiest man on the field. All's well and good. We talk about players knowing each other's game, as Zadran and Mujib would have known each other's game. Mujib wins this battle, 35 to Zadran, 124 for 5.
Javel Glenn, Darren Sammy will have their work cut out. Try and score as many runs as possible.
How?
Off the mark straight away, Javel Glenn.
Left-handed Zadran is gone, so we can presuppose that that is why Javel Glenn is coming ahead of Darren Sammy. On current form, I would have had Javel Glenn coming in ahead of Darren Sammy anyway. Got 22, I think, in the last game, Javel Glenn. He can smack it. He'll have his hands full today, though.
Clear case of trying to anchor the innings. Roston Chase, 18 gone, 125 for 5. Roston Chase and Najibullah Zadran produce the highest partnership for the St. Lucia Zouks in this edition of Hero CPL. 61 that partnership was worth.
this will be tough on Javel Glenn here, Fidel Edwards. Very tough on Javel Glenn. Full, straight and fast from Fidel Edwards. Too good.
Just love his body language, Fidel Edwards. Looks in really good form. His mindset also very good. It's a peach of a delivery from round the wickets. Javel Glenn was trying to play across the line. Beaten all ends up. Glenn goes for one. It's 125 for 6 now. Captain Sammy, will he surprise us and produce something special with the bat? Rodman Paul will be pleased with what returns Fidel Edwards has brought with the ball for the Tallawahs.
I think the spotlight is on Chase here, because while wickets have fallen around him and while we've praised his all-round performance, he's going in this innings at less than a run a ball. I think in the modern game, even if you're playing that role, it has to be more than a run a ball. So he's got to finish this innings at a better tempo, and he doesn't have much time.
Scott Kugelheim, not in the squad today. 14 wickets to his name.
Chase, I think, standing on off stump. So he's anticipating wide deliveries from Fidel Edwards.
Wide signal. Republic Bank fan stand question from Antonio Grant.
Mr. Commentator, who would you say is the most improved team in CPL this year? And what are your predictions for the finals?
Not predicting anything for the finals. That is a curse from any commentator who will answer that. Most improved team, I think I've taken my pick already, that the Zouks, these guys here in blue. Because they didn't qualify for the playoffs last year. In fact, they haven't qualified for a while, and very limited in the history of their franchise, and will finish in 3rd position in this league. I think they take most improved for me.
I 100% agree with you. Remember, you can send your videos to Republic Bank on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and get all your CPL information there. Jamaica Tallawahs also need a mention. They've improved from their 2019 performance. Good hand by Glenn Phillips. Sammy, can he tee off? Can he produce a couple hero maximums for the Zouks? Haven't seen a perfect finish by the Zouks with the bat. It's about time they groom that aspect of their game as they head into that important semi-final match on Tuesday. Sammy loves to hit straight down the ground and to leg. Fidel might just be plugging away outside the off stump with his Yorkers and short deliveries. Change in the field. Is he playing mind games? Nope. Fielder comes back into the 30-yard circle. Educated edge. Sammy wouldn't mind this. Add 4 more to the Zouks tally.
So one risk of looking to bowl full and wide with that deep point and not the orthodox third man. Anything with pace on it. Nick goes fine. 4.
Also surprised that Peter Edwards went with pace on. Missed time. Should be a single to end the over. 9 from it. 134 for 6. Tallawahs will want to close this innings off for as few runs as possible. 134 for 6. The Zouks at the moment will entrust the last over with Carlos Brathwaite.
They need a good over. They need an over of 15 or so. That's what they need. That's what they'll want, the Zouks. Whether they get it is a different thing. Brathwaite coming round the wicket. Think he's looking to bowl into the feet of Darren Sammy. Can't give room off stump. Right into his feet.
High backlift of Darren Sammy. As we come to know of him, hasn't really been able to kick into full form in this tournament with the bat. Sammy. Could Roston Chase get a boundary? Fumble should be 2.
It's asking a lot for a direct hit there. 3 wide signaled, but I think if that had hit the stumps, I just wonder if Chase might have been struggling. Phillips has to do better, really. I think he'd have been gone there if that had hit the stumps directly. That's why I said it's hard asking for a direct hit from there. He would have been gone by some distance.
Where's he eyeing up Roston Chase? Over cover. Good area. Goes leg side, wide. So clear plan here by Brathwaite to stay close. Use the well-protected onside area and the bigger side of the field. He's thinking containment at the moment. Muscled through the onside, just a single brings Darren Sammy on strike. His power desperately needed for his side now, Darren Sammy. 4 deliveries remaining in this over. Can he get a couple of hero maximums? This is going to be a long over. 14 wides in innings so far by the Tallawahs. Coming over the wicket now, Carlos Brathwaite. Quick single.
So one time, Carlos, leave it. Don't stop it. If he hadn't gotten a hand to it, I think it was heading straight at the stumps, and Sammy would have been short. Get your bat down, Darren. He does.
Closer than we thought. Wide again. That's a 4th wide in the over now from Carlos Brathwaite. Extras going to 22 for the Tallawahs. How many times have we seen this? Bowlers not getting behind the stumps.
But look at Glenn Phillips. Glenn Phillips knew, and he was probably shouting, Carlos, leave it! Leave it!
Good change of pace. Very good. Roston Chase was early into that stroke. Might just be 2. No, they'll settle for 1. Sammy will have the privilege of facing the last delivery of the innings.
And that's going back to early in the over. May have missed the stumps anyway to be true. Fruitful. Good timing, but short.
doesn't find the gap. Sammy and Chase will be disappointed with that effort. The last 5 overs producing 45. Much more was expected by the Zouks, and the Tallawahs, they can take some comfort from that remaining phase of their innings with the ball.
145 for 6 for the St. Lucia Zouks of their 20 overs. Edwards was good, bowled with pace, hostility. Mujib and Sandeep Lamashani in tandem would be pleased with their effort, and so too Rovman Powell. Great to see Fidel Edwards ramping up the pace today as they head towards the semi-final. Not sure about that Ruston Chase innings. I'll say that again. It came in over number 7, batted for the rest of the innings and got 32 from 36 deliveries. So we can say wickets fell around him, but yes, Floyd Reefer, that was a decent effort for your team.
There was that one significant partnership between Chase and Najibullah Zadran. Cornwall at the top of the innings was explosive, 32 from 29. Dial getting a chance at the top again, getting a start and not carrying on. Decent 25-run opening partnership. Fletcher showing inconsistency with the bat. He'll need to get that right. Spoke about that partnership of significance. 61 it produced. In terms of the bowlers, everyone amongst the wickets. Edwards 1 for 24, bowled with aggression and pace. Mujib as prolific as ever, 2 for 28. Pamal, Brathwaite and Lamachani a wicket apiece. Let's now join Alex Jordan.
145 on the board for the St. Lucia Zouks, and 32 of those runs came from the rack attack. Rakeem Cornwall. How did you, I guess about par score, how do you feel about that score?
I think it's a good score. Would have liked to get probably 150 or 160, but still is a good pitch. You just have to go there and execute with the ball now.
This is it now. This is the last day of the league stage. How do you feel your form and the form of your team heading into the semi-finals?
Well, my form, I start to feel a little bit better in terms of batting, going through my paces. I think the team is hitting the straps. We just have to do the final preparation and execute well and get ready for Tuesday.
Had a nice battle with Fidel there up at the top. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, Fidel, everybody knows Fidel bowls good pace. I'm not going to back down. I'm just going to still back myself and go at him. And he gets off in the end, he bowls at a decent pace.
I know you back yourself. The number is 146 for them. Can you defend it? And what role are you going to play with the ball?
Well, we left to see. I think we have some quality bowlers. Once the ball given to me, I totally do my best and put the balls in the right area.
Thanks, Rakeem.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex Jordan. The Digicel highlights bundle. If you missed the action, St. Lucia Zouks batting first. Rakeem Cornwall and Mark Dial started things off. Cornwall in particular was aggressive. Had a bit of luck. Andre Russell misjudged this opportunity. Mark Dial did a nice straight drive for 4. And a lovely pull off Mujib for another boundary. Yeah! And Mujib got revenge. Dial was caught behind. Rakeem kept going, showing his power. Fletcher didn't really have much of an impact in the innings. Blackwood taking a really good catch. And in the meantime, Cornwall kept getting boundaries, kept that scoreboard ticking over. This was skied high and went for a hero maximum over long off. Before this happened, Lamachani with his googly and wrong on. taking the wicket of Cornwall. Mohammed Nabi brought in before Zadran, he departed. And all along, Roston Chase found the boundary, was turning the strike over, and forged a really good partnership with Najibullah Zadran. There were quite a few extras in the innings, which helped the Zouks. This one went for hero maximum, the reverse sweep by Zadran. And then showing his power down the ground. Got a hero maximum and another. He was given a chance. And Nkrumah Bonner, the substitute, spilled this. But it didn't cost the Tallawahs too many. Eventually, Zadran departed. Mujib getting his wicket. Javel Glenn was comprehensively bowled by Fidel Edwards. And Darren Sammy got an educated edge and found the acceleration tough. In the end, the Zouks folded for 145 for 6. Bet Daily, innings break. The Tallawahs will now have to chase 146 runs to win from their 20 overs.
Welcome back to Lara. The rack attack early. Got lucky there. Dre Russell couldn't hold on to it. Do love a little top edge that goes all the way for 6. And then Majib weaving his stuff as he has. Oh, love a googly from Lamachani. Najibullah, Boston Chase. Oh, you got to take those, Mr. Bonner. Carlos did. So in the end, the Zouks have posted 145 for 6 their turn at bat. Look at those extras. 22 of them to go with a top score of 35 from Najibullah, from 25. Chase, 32. Well, everyone getting amongst the wickets there. Edwards was very good up in that power play. Pamala liked him coming back into the side. He had 11 dots. 17 dots from Lamak Chani, 1 for 20. Superb performance. And Majid, 2 for 28, weaving his magic again. And Brathwaite got 1 for 39. A little bit of collar just in the middle there. Geez, we love St. Lucia. Rodney Bay, the pitons, the seafood, the sunsets, the mud baths. Ah, it's got it all. And the waterfall for those who've just got newly married. Oh, stunning. Get on the zip line and cut loose. All the way to St. Lucia. Oh. Hashtag stunning. And the pitons, oh, you better believe it. A couple of those. A lot of snorkeling to be had. It really is a romantic island. A lot of weddings held there, a lot of newlyweds in St. Lucia. IndyBet, a match partner, courtesy of St. Lucia and the Zouks. Rightio, let's go to Alex Jordan.
Well, the St. Lucia Zouks are about to take to the field to defend that total 145, and I've caught up with Andy Flower, their coach. Andy, let's talk about today's game. About par, would you say?
Yeah, I would say that actually. I thought we did quite well to get there in the end. You know, Roston might not have gone that quickly, but he held the innings together. Zadran played a nice little knock. So I think we can win with that total. It depends how well we use the wind, I think, right, and how well we force them to hit into the wind.
What do you think Sammy's saying in that huddle behind you there?
I would imagine it might be something like that. Or something more motivational, probably.
He is that kind of guy.
He is.
Well, we know what we've got, right? You know who you're playing in the semi-finals. This really a preparation game. How are you feeling about the squad in its entirety?
Look, I think we did brilliantly to qualify as soon as we did. And, you know, we've rested Scott Cougalane today. And Obed McCoy gets another go, who had a tough start to the tournament, but we want to see what he can do today, and it's a good opportunity to rest Scott. So really happy with the way the squad's gone. You know, Darren's been brilliant as a leader, and some of his interventions out there in the field have allowed us to win a couple of those tight games earlier in the tournament.
Now, I know that this is a dead rubber, essentially, but you'll want to win this, I suspect, to get some momentum heading into the semi-finals.
Yeah, absolutely would, you know. Even if we were messing around with a game of tennis, we'd want to win it, which we did against Moody and McCullum.
By the way.
So, yeah, we want to win this. We know that Guyana's had a really strong finish to the group games. We'd like to take a win here and feel good going into that semi.
Andy Flower, in some senses you've reversed the fortunes of the St. Lucia Zouks, but you're not satisfied with just that.
No, definitely not. It's great to qualify for the playoffs, but we want to win that semi-final when we get the chance.
Good luck, thanks. Go well.
Cheers.
Thank you, Andy Flower. Yeah, good numbers for Phillips. He's had a pretty good time of it. These two, they'll want to make the most of this opportunity heading into, as they're mentioning there, the semis on Tuesday. Obed McCoy gets an opportunity. G'day, Moods.
G'day, Danny, and to all our viewers. I'd like to correct Andy Flower on that tennis result. McCullum and Moody combination was all over the Flower and Penny combination. We're waiting for the rematch.
The Australasian, long and short of it, cutting loose on the tennis court as well. Turbo countdown done here. Match 30, the reply here for Jamaica. In search of 146. Obed McCoy. Starts with a swinging full toss. Side filler there, had a good look at it.
Yeah, decent pace up front, 136. So he's getting it through nicely. And I'm sure he's aware, like Andy Flower, the coach, indicated, that this is an opportunity for him to impress. And if he does have a good day out, it just gives them a headache at the selection table, and they're looking to finalise their 11 for the semi.
He wants to get going as Blackwood, and he's so quick between the stumps. A little ricochet here. Yeah, and he's fresh off that 74. Jermaine Blackwood off 59 in match 28. So he's in a groove. Russell went off the field for some time. He got 54, of course. So in terms of getting some time in the middle, so key. Up and away, nice. Phillips, little inside out number. Should get 3. Big boundary, no. It's a great arm. Javel Glenn.
Was a good arm, but also got to remember that he's throwing with the breeze. So it's a lot easier to ping it in from a distance when you've got the breeze behind you. So he is a fair way, but he's got a nice breeze behind him. So they're the things you need to remember when you're running between the wickets, and obviously when you're batting as well, to where you're looking to find your boundaries. Certainly with the breeze is a lot easier. McCoy is bowling from his preferred end, you would think, with the breeze going from off to leg. So it will help him swing the ball back into the right-hander.
Yeah, the rack attack's got to leave the slip cordon. But enough of that already after 3. So half an over gone, and that's it. Slip comes out. So Darren Sammy just already tweaking the field. Deep square leg, he wants some squarer. He's not paying attention to Darren Sammy. Yeah. Captain inspiration. Just trying to sort the field and make sure you're looking at the skipper all the time. Always wanting to tweak the field in T20. Stand out there in match 18. Match 6.5 century. 44 against this opposition. That's delightful. Just a little punch.
Very full, just jammed out by Phillips. Hence him not getting the timing he would like. It's sort of coming more off the bottom of that bat.
Little glance to finish the over. Poor line. 1 done. 10 for none. Bobman Powell got the boards on. So's Chadwick Kravitz. Walton. Yeah, he's got some on, and he's. Well, it's an important game for Walton. He really does need to get a score here. He's had a horror season, and they need him to just come good with that semi-final on Tuesday. Yeah, confirmation. It's a long-distance telephone code. Duck hunting season for Chadwick Walton, unfortunately for Jamaica. Just mentioning, I think it was 16 or 17 year, that is 16 or 17 in the Hero CPL, where Chadwick Walton dined out, was the player of the tournament. Feast of runs. Yeah, 2017. Thank you, Mr. Miller.
That's it, buddy. That's it, buddy. Going a bit low here, guys. Keep going, guys. Keep going up. Going up. Good try, buddy. Good try. Stay with him here, fellas. Let's stay with him here, fellas. Keep going, Abby.
1-1-1 in terms of deliveries left. Very comfortable asking rate. So let's just see how these two go about it inside the power play. Respect for Nubby, and rightly so.
Good start here, buddy. Good start here, Nub.
Chase, good work. Yeah, finishes all right. Just 2 from that. 12 without loss here. Phillips up against McCoy. That's better. Being able to work the single. You're not being able to pump a boundary, play the big shot. Simply have to rotate inside the power play.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see Darren Sammy with ball in hand at some stage. Before the match, he was marking his run up out, so I think he's planning on having another role. Bowled in the last game, which is the first time for the season.
Into the surface. Jermaine Blackwood. I don't know if it was that quick, was it?
Played that with a lot of surprise, whether he is anticipating that to go across him more so he could run it down to third man or not.
Let's get a bit of shape, searching for that gorgeous probing length with maybe a bit of swing. He's a bit shorter there, lovely change up actually, good cutter. Blackwood, who got 74 just the other day, looks a little out of sorts here. He's just got 2 runs for 9 deliveries. Yeah, just that little cut, pace off.
Yeah, that's an ugly swipe, and he's a better player than that. It just requires a proper cricket shot. You know, if he held his line and made a decent stride forward like he would do in a longer form of the game, he would have potentially driven that past mid-off, or certainly past the bowler. Sometimes you can get caught up a little bit in thinking you need to be in 5th gear, when really all's required is just to play with control and balance. And proper cricket shots are still very valuable.
Oh, there's the Frenchie. Another French cut. Well, well, well. I reckon we saw about 5 or 6 of them yesterday. I said the other day, well, it was actually only 24 hours ago, Mood, that innings of 74 from Blackwood. There he is. He just seems all at sea at the moment. Timing out, footwork not in sync. Very lucky here. Lucky the old zingers didn't light up. Look at that. And he got 4 for it. Ah. Trying to heave this into next week. Half the power play done, 17 for none. Chadwick Walton, who's just resembles Lenny Kravitz. It's unbelievable. But I'd love to get a circle out. But 2017 Moods, look at that big standout there. He was player of the tournament back in 2017. Look at the runs. It just shows you some really has struggled since.
Well, what you'd ideally want to see in this is a continuation of growth in number of runs scored with a healthy average and a better strike rate, but it's been a rocky road.
Very quick and needed to be there, Phillips.
And it's not like Chadwick Walton has had to change teams. He hasn't had to change position in his batting order where he's been challenged. Normally those types of challenges and changes can alter your form and your frame of mind. But it's been quite erratic, really. So 2017 was a bumper year and really should have continued to build on that. Not saying that he needed to be player of the tournament every year since then, but certainly be one of the top 5 players of the tournament going forward, because he's good enough.
Sure is. A wonderful range of strokes, Chadwick Walton. Yeah, I'm not making excuses again. I know the pitches have been challenging because of the pandemic, timing and weather and all those sorts of factors, but he's a very good player. I had to put a finger on the pulse. Why? It's going to run away. There's a boundary here off Nubby.
Yeah, much needed boundary too for Blackwood. He was digging himself into a bit of a hole, more so at the other end against Obed McCoy, but Nubby just getting a little bit straight here, and Blackwood managing to flick that and time that nicely behind square.
Oh, direct hit. Would have been interesting. Very tight.
Yeah, overthrows written all over that too. Darren Sammy was doing the backing up. Might have been tight. A lot tighter than he expected.
Delightful for 4. Ends the 4th. 29 without loss now.
A little bit of width, and it's a nice stroke because he still managed to play the shot with a vertical bat against looking to play a square cut.
Glenn Phillips is dining out. Now he, on the other hand, look at the other end of the scale from Chadwick Walton. Glenn Phillips has been consistent the last 2 or so years that he's been at the Hero CPL. Loving the opportunities of playing in this franchise. It's Kesrick, Williams.
He's done well in the wickets column, been slightly expensive, but must appreciate that he's got a bowl, tends to bowl 1 if not 2 at times at the back end of the innings, so he's challenged there. It's certainly an area he can continue to improve going into today and into the finals.
Well taken. Fletcher, he liked it. Sadly, you can't come upstairs for a referral, young man.
Just seaming back in and just clipping the pad, and I think that was the point of interest from behind the stumps.
Picks the fielder out. Ball people, Rakeem. He got a chance up the order yesterday. Lovely little half century. 74. Poof. Clean and simple. Better cricket shots, moves.
He seems a lot more balanced there.
Seems all very hunky-dory and smooth and easy, even with Blackwood a bit scratchy. Phillips is just settling in. He's 13 from 11, but you lose 1, you lose 2. But, 2 new batters that have to start again makes life a little bit more tricky, particularly when the power play's gone. Too high. Good single sneak.
Yeah, excellent run. Good call from Blackwood at the non-striker's end, just letting Phillips know that he's away. We haven't seen a lot of that type of running, to be fair, over the last couple of weeks. That instinctive hit and run, challenge the ring, particularly in the power play overs.
Can he finish well here, Kesrick Williams? Up and over, fortuitous. Blackwood's going to scoop one for a brace. We've had 5 and Jamaica 33 without loss.
Mark Dial. 1 wicket in the tournament so far, 1 for 3 against the Tridents. Starts with a full toss and it gets pumped away by Glenn Phillips. He needs no second invitation to hit leg side.
Yeah, juicy full toss on offer here from Mark Dial. And Glenn Phillips has been in good form throughout this tournament and continues along his merry way. Not a good start for Mark Dial, not a good start in this, the last over of the power play.
Should get 2. Blackwood is perhaps the quickest man on the park. Glenn Phillips is quite brisk himself.
Look at this bit of running for all you young players out there. Another loose delivery from Mark Dial, who will challenge the boundary. It gets there. So another boundary wide, the signal. So that's 5 extras added to the total. Already 11 coming from this over. Only 2 deliveries. So very expensive from Mark Dial. They wanted to close off the power play well. He's not helping the cause. The Jamaica Tallawahs enjoying the better of the exchanges so far. That camp will feel relatively relaxed in this run chase. Of course, that semi-final will be on their minds. Up against the Night Riders. Lucia Zouks will be up against the Guyana Amazon Warriors. Darren Sammy perhaps just figuring out if Mark Dial can be used in a power play, giving him that over, just perhaps to get an insight into what he has to offer.
A try for 2 again, but no. Struck 2 firmly, just 1 to end the over. And blessings over the Lara Academy. End of the Guardian Life power play, 46 without loss.
Yeah, magnificent rainbow towards the east of this facility. Truly a magnificent sight whenever it does appear.
Guardian Life power play. Zahir Khan into the attack. 3 wickets so far this season. The economy rate just a touch over 6.5. Played 4 games. And this will be an intriguing battle here against Blackwood, who hasn't found his best touch yet.
Glenn Phillips 20. Keep talking about the way he has approached his innings, laid a foundation, got himself set, and he knows that he can make up and accelerate once he does the hard work at the top. So the young batsman looking on in terms of building an innings.
nice gap finding. 50 comes up for the Tallawahs. Didn't lose a wicket in the power play yesterday, nor today.
So they're finding that partnership at the right time, perhaps, the business end of the tournament. And Glenn Phillips just taking his time to pick that gap to perfection.
Back up! What again?
So consecutive 50-plus partnerships at the top for the Jamaica Tallawahs in a tournament where many of the teams have lost, including the Tallawahs, many of wickets in the power play overs. Jermaine Blackwood continues to find the fielders. 16 of 21 now.
I think he should change his bat, Jermaine Blackwood. Try something different. 52 without loss.
Yeah, he's been struggling throughout this inning so far. Misses this one completely. And frustrated. Shows that frustration.
Number 94 required by the Jamaica Tallawahs. 78 deliveries in which to do it in this last league game of Hero CPL 2020. Tallawahs fine-tuning to face the Night Riders in the semis. And it will be the Zouks and the Amazon Warriors who will clash. Zouks 145 is perhaps a touch under where they felt they should have been. Ruston Chase. Very economical this season, Ruston Chase. Just above 5 and over on average throughout the tournament. 6 wickets.
That one there's off, eh?
And he's bowled some critical overs for the Zouks as well. I remember one here in an earlier contest, the 15th over, where he was able to nail some serious yorkers. And the last over in a match against the Tridents when they were defending 92. So he has been good with bat, he's been good with ball. A real find, you would say, for the St. Lucia Zouks this season, when many others have struggled. Would not have really considered him a T20 player, but he has shown that adaptability.
Just make Blackwood take the ball off the off stump. Don't give him width. He's not a 6 hitter per se, and when I say that, I don't mean that he can't hit the 6, but it's not a natural thing for him. And with deep fielders, you have to make him work to find the boundaries, the 4s, particularly when he's not feeling in good touch. Half century yesterday would have taken on some out of him.
And that's the other thing we might sometimes neglect, the amount of cricket these guys have played in such a short space of time in tough conditions. They're not night games. Most of these games starting at 10 and then 5:30 or 2:15, whether it's the weekend. So it would take a lot out of these players who would have been inactive for quite a long time. There's a rest day tomorrow and then the semi-finals day after.
"55 without loss." Williams bowled the 1 over so far for 3 runs. He went for 50 runs in his 4 overs against TKR in the previous encounter, so being one of the elder statesmen in this Zouks team, he has some making up to do today. And Sammy will be looking to him to bowl with control, but also be that wicket taker, which he is at his best.
And you'd want to use the conditions here. I mentioned before, we're playing on the westerly of the surfaces here, forcing the batsman to hit into that deeper side against the wind. We saw the TKR bowlers do that really well throughout this tournament.
Don't drift into the pads of Glenn Phillips either. Not bad. You have to make allowances as a bowler for that win. We saw Alzari Joseph struggle in his initial over today from this very same end. You almost have to shift your intended line maybe a 6 inches to a foot further outside the off stump, allowing for the angle and any wind.
We saw, like I mentioned, Dwayne Bravo bowling with 3 fielders on the on side from this end on the strip, because he has that ability to bowl outside off stump and various pace.
Finds big Rakeem Cornwall again. Got to go left or right. Remember listening to Kevin Peterson this morning, former England batsman, during the Australia-England game, and he talked about his philosophy when he batted, and it's something that we talked about, lowering your percentage of dot balls. I'll come back to it. He was saying that his philosophy was, he's looking for a 4 ball. Initially, he's looking for a scoring shot for 4. If he doesn't get that, 3, down to 2, down to 1. And in that way, if he doesn't get that boundary ball simplistically, at least he's still looking to turn the strike over. And we've long argued that even though the West Indians are, a lot of them are boundary hitters, 6 hitters, that there's still room to adjust the shot if that boundary ball isn't there. You gotta stop that. Come on.
I'm going to look at Jermaine Blackwood in this case here. 18 of 28 deliveries, 17 dots in that so far. Really underscores the point that we are making here in terms of rotation of strike. Glenn Phillips, 30 of 24. So inverse, and just the 8 dots from him.
Goes again. think it was excellent running. Jermaine Blackwood dunked his bat into the crease instead of sliding it in, and I think he's gassed as well.
Maybe a direct hit and he would have been in some trouble, but the commitment, I'm not able to tell from that angle. Let's see here. Gets a single again, goes for 4. Really disappointing effort there from Obed McCoy for to end the over at the end of 9, 65 without loss. That's what you get when you have 2 good runners. He was under pressure knowing that they might have come back for 2. So he took his eyes off the ball, probably thinking about trying to get it back in before he held it. Yeah, frustration for Kesrick Williams. Yeah, look at those worms. Jamaica Tallawahs just edging ahead of the St. Lucia Zouks in pursuit of 146. They need 81 runs of 66 balls, 10 wickets in hand. So this is a nice confidence booster if they can get there without losing too many wickets, the Jamaica Tallawahs.
Glenn Phillips has gone past 300 runs for the season. Our scorer, who doesn't miss a thing, will inform us as to how many seasons and how his seasons has gone up at Tallawahs. We might get it before Christmas if he goes quickly. That gentleman over there. See, even that, a long hop. Just one, mistimed. Blackwood is really feeling the heat. But what I was going to say about Glenn Phillips is that every year, what I've noticed, Sammy, and you would have played with him, I think, he goes home and comes back with something added to his game so that he can conquer the conditions. He's always thinking, how can I improve? And if I were some of the local players, I would certainly spend much of my time, if I know this is the format I want to play, how can I better increase my tempo? How can I improve my deflections or into gaps and get singles? Because you know some of the bigger guys can hit boundaries. So how can I improve my game? Question yourself, ask yourself.
Yeah, and that's the 1%ers we keep talking about in this sport. Always trying to improve as a bowler. You want to continue to work on your control, on your variations. As a batsman, you want to improve upon your strengths as well as your weaknesses. Continue to be one step ahead of the game if you're to survive at this level. And we saw earlier today, Bish, Josh Butler, the opening batsman for England, carrying his team over the line, batting through the innings. And that's what we want to see from our players. Glenn Phillips, he has the tendency to do that as well, the ability to do that. Boy, and wouldn't the Jamaica Tallawahs love for him to find that sort of form as we head towards that semi-final.
Yeah, the Glenn Phillips in 2017, 7 games, 176 runs. 2018, 457 runs. 2019, 374 runs. 2020, over 300 runs. Get 2 more. Easy. Thinking 4, if it's not 4, thinking 3, if it's not 3, thinking 2, if it's not 2, at least get 1. And that will refresh you as you head to the Angostura LLB drinks break.
A required rate of 7.4 is what the Tallawahs will need to go on to win this game. No wickets to fall just yet. 72 this opening partnership, backing up 51 achieved against the Tridents. Tallawahs would have used Nkrumah Bonner to open the batting. Of course, Chadwick Walton was the original opener alongside Glenn Phillips. Didn't quite produce the type of runs required at the top. So you'd say in the context of this Tallawahs team, this is a significant improvement.
One interesting thing is I just wonder whether in the back of their minds that they're hoping they're going to lose a wicket, but they'd ideally like to have Rovman Powell and Chadwick Walton just to get some time in the middle, because neither have really had the game time with bat in hand. You don't want to wish any of your teammates to get out, but looking at the bigger picture, you just wonder whether there's that half a thought, can we retire someone here? I know that may sound a bit drastic, but they're qualified for the semi. This game's important. Of course it is. You want to win, but you want to be winning the semi and the final, and you need your guns firing. And Rovman Powell needs the time, and so does Chadwick Walton.
Thinking exactly like a coach, Tom Moody.
How do you reckon that'll go down? Just retiring both of them at the LLB drinks break. Not too well, I would have thought. 11 overs gone. It's 78 without loss.
Zahir Khan will continue. He's bowled 2 overs, conceded 13 runs.
2 spin wizards. Just looking on at another emerging spin wizard in Zahir Khan. Still developing his skill. Very, very tricky when he gets it right.
This guy gets it right more often than not. Glenn Phillips. That's why he's been the most productive batsman in Hero CPL 2020. What a strike.
Such an effortless stroke down the ground. Just looking to keep his head through the line of the ball. Not trying to overhit it, and it goes sailing over for a Hero maximum. He's a good player, this guy. He's a very good player, and he's shown that not only this year, but in previous years as well. And he is one to look out for on the international stage.
I want to pick you up on your suggestion to retire one of these two and allow for some batting time.
Not one, both.
That's a little too drastic to start with. Creep before you walk. Well, he doesn't have to retire. Zahir Khan, after taking a serious blow down the ground, gets his man.
Yeah, beautifully bowled. Good comeback from Zahir Khan. He got through the defences of an in-form batsman in Glenn Phillips. Good turn coming from wide of off stump. Just changed his angle by coming around the wicket. Going straight through the gate. Wonderful bit of bowling. It's the end of a good innings though. Phillips amongst the runs again. 49 for him off 36. It's 84 for 1.
Chadwick Walton comes in at number 3. With the thought process that we've had up here, one would have felt that Rodman Paul would have been the more preferred batsman in at number 3. Captain short on runs throughout the entire tournament and having to focus on an upcoming semi-final match. Loud appeal. Unmoved the umpire.
Well, I can promise you, Chadwick Walton's heart would have just jumped into his mouth. Keeper, bit of a giveaway there, going well down the leg side, and I think that's a good decision. It may well have just slid down leg. Darren Sammy doesn't think so. Can you believe it?
Gone, 84 for 1. Sammy already celebrating without getting the umpire's decision. Darren Sammy directing as per normal. Always very busy on the outfield, changing his field, rotating bowlers, going with his gut instinct at times. He did so with Javel Glenn in that match against Barbados Tridents when they defended 92. Seventh bowler in play for the Zouks. You don't mind a batsman getting out in this manner with a beautiful delivery that was pitched on a good line, spun into him, clipping leg stump. It's a little bit of wear and tear on that surface.
Yeah, and I think what did him more than anything there was the length of the ball. He read the turn. He knew it was a wrong one coming in, and most keepers are generally the best readers of spin bowlers because they have to keep to them. But it's just the length that was perfect that created enough angle for the ball to turn through the gap.
This is an ideal opportunity for many of you who haven't done so yet. Log on to dream11.com or download the app and play. Pick your Dream 11 fantasy team.
Keep going, guys. Keep going, guys.
Tallawahs must be thinking about salvaging something more with this batting effort. In a sense, Tom, you can say they've solved that opening pair with Blackwood and Phillips, an area that has been unproductive for them. Lloyd Reefer will be thinking about the middle order. Rothman Powell, Asif Ali haven't fired as he would like. Stumped. You sense that that was going to happen, and it was a matter of time. I reckon he's caught behind. Frustrating innings, you would say, from Blackwood comes to an end.
Well, either way, he's out. He's a long way down the crease. He may have got a bottom edge. It looks like he did, and it was a beautiful take either way. So Glenn casting his magic and showing us an El Dorado celebration. It's the end of Blackwood. He goes for 25. It's 86 for 2.
Some time out in the middle for Rothman Paul. He would love to have a red dot, as they say, come unbeaten at the end of the innings. Possibly see his side home. He's had a lean time with the bat, only 71 runs.
Well, we've talked about this pair getting some exposure. There's 60 runs left in this contest. So it's going to give them plenty of time to get some rhythm to their game. 13 gone, it's 87 for 2. Yeah, nicely bowled. Just drag that down a little bit quicker. And he likes it.
Wickets falling in clusters across both teams. Tallawahs losing quickly 2 wickets in a short space of time. Spoke about Asif Ali not playing in the 11 today for the Tallawahs. Lloyd Reefer to the right of screen will be much more comfortable with his bowling as against his batting. Mujib, Lamashani, they've been excellent with the ball. So too Fidel Edwards has given him accuracy, pace, aggression with the new ball. Brathwaite has chipped in as well.
Yeah, nicely played. And a good bit of fielding down there. McCoy diving away and preventing the boundary. And he picked up 2, which is a little bit of a surprise.
Jim Blackwood was caught behind. Keep looking at the umpire. Finger goes up. Wasn't the square leg umpire. Edge and taken. A Republic Bank classic from Darren Sammy. He would have been blinded, but he's had such a good time and slip.
That's an absolute gem. Hands still on knees, reflex, and a nice little tumble with a nice heel kick to make it look even better. Brilliant. Terrific reflex catch at slip, just pouching it in that left hand. It's the end of Rovman Power. So his troubles continue. He goes for 2. It's 91 for 3.
Andrew Russell, what he's got for us today. Such a huge figure in this Tallawahs team. This was a wicket off Rovman Paul, playing across the line, not picking this delivery. Sammy anticipating well. Then the presence of mind to dive to his left. Ball sticking in that hand.
It's a great catch, isn't it? It's going to be hard to beat that for the tournament.
Gone again! Zahir Khan, Darren Sammy, all in El Dorado celebrations.
Oh, this is unexpected. So used to Andre Russell having an impact when he comes to the crease. Sammy's happy. They're all running in different directions. They don't know where to go. There's no crowd to cheer to. Real El Dorado celebration from the gang. It's the end of Russell. He goes without scoring just off the one ball. It's 91 for 4.
Glum faces. Andre Russell getting dismissed off his very first delivery face. Hat-trick ball for Zahir Khan. Nicholas Curtin will have the task of keeping this one out.
Okay, Nicholas Curtin, left-hand batsman. What are they going to look to do? Is Zahir Khan going to try to beat the outside edge and get a nick to slip, or the keeper? Or is he going to go with his wrong and try to trap him in front, either LBW or go straight through him and bowled? So he's got those two choices. What would you be bowling if you could bowl left arm leg spin?
I would go with the conventional leg spin. Try to take the ball away.
I think I'd go the other way, because I'd want 2 chances, one hitting him in the pad, 3 chances, one hitting him in the pad, one getting him bowled, or one getting him caught at short leg or leg gully.
Well, his first port of call is to get bat on ball. He'll be thinking about that wrong on. Leg slip, Bat pad on the onside, slip in place, Darren Sammy. What will he least expect, Tom Moody? Here we go. Googles and negotiates it well. Looking for the third, Nicholas Curtin. Wonderful over, brilliant spell by Zahir Khan. Only 6 from the over and 2 important wickets for the Zouks. 93 for 4. Three wickets, 25 runs, 4 overs. Zahir Khan playing his part as a leading spinner in this Zouks side.
Well, Javel Glenn's been a bit of a find, I reckon, for the Zouks. His leg spin has been more than useful. Been pretty consistent with it. Ask him to bowl 4 overs, but if he can lend you 2 overs in the middle of the innings, and he's a little bit different too, be very handy with their combination. Just adds to the Nabi Zahir Khan combination if you've got that other variety to your spin attack.
Also at a fairly decent pace, doesn't allow you time to adjust, extracts a little bit of turn and some bounce because of his height. First wicket to fall in the over. Playing across the line, Rahman Paul, then again finding the outside edge, Khan. Sami taking catches on both occasions.
Well, after all this drama, Chadwick Walton is still there. So they'd be keen for him to navigate this little speed hump that the Tallawahs have hit. Run rate required has crept up to nearly 9.4. If he can see his team home here, it's going to do his confidence an enormous amount leading into the finals. Nicholas Curtin back into the side. He played 2 early games in the tournament. They haven't seen him since, but
those 2 wickets have just changed the complexion of this game. The Tallawahs, they're in a dominant position now. Zouks with their tail up. Not a tidy over by Javel Glenn, only 3 from it. 96 for 4 after 15.
A lot of bowlers being used here and changes. Zahir, look at those gorgeous figures of 3 for 25 with 10 dots. Having a big say at the moment at 146. Well, it's looking a fair way off still. 50 from 30 is the equation. Now the showdown. Kesrick against Chadwick. The notebook. Oh, sweet. Hustle for 2. Got to come back. Comfortable. Let's see if Chadwick can play the tunes here against Kesrick Williams. Sun setting here. Is it setting on the Tallawahs in pursuit of 146? Once again, wickets at crucial moments in T20. 84 and 86 sort of together, really. And then bang, bang, 2 at 91. Changes the complexion somewhat. Take one and be happy. Big fan of the match, Yolanda Dyer from St Kitts and Nevis as the 100 comes up.
$500 US. Make some $500 US noise, Yolanda.
Yolanda, you're loving the Tallawahs. Colours on and cutting loose again. That's right, US 500 to you, Ms. Dyer. Holy, holy, pants on fire. Look at you go. No. Send in your videos. CPL social media using the hashtag CPL fan. And be in to win. Now, so that sun's setting, the lights are on. Bish, where are you thinking this is leaning? Who are you favouring at this stage at 100 for 4?
Yeah, I just feel that the Tallawahs have more of the legwork to do. Be a call for 2. Trouble, trouble, big trouble. I think he might be gone. I think Chadwick might be gone. That's a rocket throw. Good work by Fletcher.
This is Nudgy Buller with the throw, the bullet arm from the Nudgemeister. Here we go, decision pending upstairs for Nigel Dogood. And Bob-Eye Chatters. Got to go, keep on running to the dressing room. Zingers are alight. The dreaded O-U-T. Now, he was keen to come back, Chadwick Walton. Came second. Slight slip here on the turn. Just enough there, possibly. Oh, he's got a lot of work to do, and he hasn't been able to do it. Well done, Spicy. Great throw, though. It's all down to the throw and the accuracy of it. So, Walton out for double figures. He got 10 again. 101 for 5 here. Another bit of tall timber. Brathwaite now. Oh, it is, yeah, it was a little delay. Kesrick won't like it, but I'm with you, Ian Bishop. And a nod from Gregory Brathwaite at the far end here. Southern end of Lara. Says there's another extra. Get back and carry on, Kesrick. Going to hold on to the strike here. 16 done, 103 for 5. Right at the top there. Phillips and Blackwood. And a bit of a hole there. Jerome Blackwood. Not one of his more memorable innings, Jermaine Blackwood. Last man to go, Chadwick Walton. Turn here. There's a slight slip just there. Great throw right over the bails to Fletcher. Ezra Williams. Bit of boogie-woogie movement. Here's Alex Jordan's favourite bowler. Javal Glenn. What's he got? Oh, he should have caught and bowled it. That's what he should have done.
Came back quickly.
Looks out. Yeah, I agree. Poor strike from Brathwaite across the line. Careful there, Javal Glenn, with a celebration. Nearly ended up on the floor. That is a really poor option, I reckon, from Big Carlos.
Got to hit that down the ground, I think. Well, the missed opportunity, the ball before, cost him nothing. I think that sums up this batting effort by the Tallawahs. 103 for 6.
Oh, is that it? It is. Oh, they're going to go crazy here in St. Lucia. I was just going to say they've lost 6 for 19. Let's make it 7. 7 for 19. The JTs knocked over. Oh, yes. Just had to clip the off stump and it did. And there goes Javal Glenn again. Golden duck for Pamar. 103 for 7. The JTs were 84 without loss, folks. That's right, 84 without loss. Now look at it, 103 for 7. Scary. Here's Majid. I reckon about 5 overs ago, he didn't think he was going to get a bat. Shoot! Oh, it is all happening here.
Nicholas Curtin, I'd like to see that again, because Nicholas Curtin, instead of going in a straight line, took the long route down to the striker's end.
Get back! Get back!
They get a brace here, but yeah, just looking at that replay where Curtin ran and changed, you can't do that. You've got to run that line. I'm sorry if you even get poleaxed by a throw. Tough gig. You're wearing a helmet and gear. Cannot change the direction this dramatically and cut across and do that. You've got to run a straight line. Naughty. Could concentrate. I think it's 5, isn't it, Bish? 5 runs. Should have been, I reckon. Geez, they would have needed them.
Back up.
2 wickets in this over. Can you believe it? 17 done, 107 for 7.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure what to make of this game so far. Quality bowling by left arm wrist spinner, of course, Zahir Khan. But I thought that the Zouks total, in my honest view, was under par. I thought they left some runs out there. Chase went at much less than a run a ball. But Blackwood going as slowly as Blackwood did, even though it was a significant partnership, dot balls don't come back to your team.
Yeah. Back up.
Just noticing that lovely little shot out the back of the ground here. Very pretty. Awful stroke from experienced old head of Carlos Brathwaite. Down the ground, please, Carlos. Just hit it down the ground. Particularly when you've only just got in. The escaped ostrich on the burst. Brilliant. He's off the leash. Just about tumbled. Now Majid, who's not renowned with bat in hand, up against his countrymen. Take one, get it back to young Curtin. And then this, again across the line, not a great option. Urasami, another experienced old campaigner. Look out. Party time.
Greatest thing I saw today was that Darren Sammy catch it slip. Darren Sammy's first catch wide signaled is the most brilliant catch I've seen this tournament. I think you'll be hard pressed to see a better one.
Yeah, you and I were sitting at the back of the comm box just having a look at it because he was unsighted. That's the beauty. And I think over the years, Bish and we played in that 20th century against the Aussies. I can't help thinking of someone like Mark Taylor. Mark Taylor for the Aussies or Mark Waugh. They evicted those sort of catches more often than not. It really is one for the vault from Darren Sammy here this afternoon. Nelson's up, 1-on-1 for 7, and they're trying to hunt up numbers 8, 9 and 10 are the Zouks here. Asking rate's gone through the roof somewhat. It's 14s now. 3 for 16. Can you believe it with 11 dots?
So you were telling me that Jamaica Tallawahs so far cannot win a game unless Andre Russell is blunting sixes and fours everywhere.
And a bit of help from his mate Glenn Phillips.
I mean,
and I'm thinking,
correct,
the two spinners, and then I'm thinking of Majib and Lamachani. They could be mesmerising with ball in hand, and then you've got Russell and Phillips. Those four standout protagonists for me need to really click on the day if they're going to be competitive in a sudden death semi.
Right, so I'm hearing you and I'm agreeing with you. I think the Tallawahs bowling generally, more often than not, is okay. That's a big one from Curtin. It's huge. With one strike, he has scored more runs than that one hit that he scored this season in 2 previous games. And they need more of this. 28 required of 13.
Just to add to that, Bish, no Dre Russell at the bowling crease. That's the other massive issue, because he is the 2-for-1 all-rounder star. You lose him with his bowling, it's a different dynamic with their bowling patterns, their bowling strategy.
I just feel, Danny, and I agree with you and I hear what you're saying, but the other batsmen have to look at Rovman Powell must be averaging about 5 this season. Carlos Brathwaite has to assist better. Blackwood's innings today was forgettable. He got 70 yesterday, so I think he might have been a bit tired as well. Then you have Chadwick Walton failing again. Come on, it cannot be Glenn Phillips and Dre Ross through the season.
Yeah, fair call. Says it all.
And I'll tell you what, a lot of people have said, well, we were inactive for so long coming in. Dre Ross said 2 games ago, if it's the first game or second game, then you can use that excuse. Good strike down the ground. But if you're into your 9th or 10th game, you cannot use that excuse. 122 for 7.
$15 off this from Nabi. It's what they needed, the JTs, to get back in the contest. JTs were looking for a big over. 15 from that Nubby over. So they're back in this game. Suddenly it's 2 a ball. That's very, very gettable, provided Curtin can kick on. So need him to be there right at the end. There's a dozen deliveries left. It's exactly 2 a delivery, which isn't impossible in T20. Maybe difficult against this guy, but he gets it right. There's wonderful subtle changes, and he swapped ends and he's here from the pavilion end. Majid, bit of bat on ball. Give it a heave. It's got the desired result. Gets the strike back to Kurt.
So how does Williams set this field? What's the plan? We've often talked about the big side of the ground, but you're in between now because you can go for 2 a ball into the big side of the field. So it's not just about stopping boundaries, but those boundary riders have to be in a position where they can come in quickly if the ball is hit along the ground to stop the 2.
As the breeze has somewhat subsided over the afternoon. Yeah, there's just slightly off. Good point, Bish. Comes slightly in. Just a little. Don't want to give away 2 if it's clipped into that onside. with the left-handed curtain on. Oh, the gold. And you go on about the last over. Well, it can often be set up with the penultimate over. Get your best bowler on and close it out almost by having so much of a good over. You got too much to do in the final one.
This was in the slot. Remember, he's got mid-off. This is outside off stump. This should have traveled. And that's why Curtin is cursing himself. Now, Mohamed Nabi, who was at mid-off right of your screen, is going back to long off. That was a boundary missed.
So now, Kesrick Williams is going to go round the wicket here. Mid-off has come up, and cover point on the fence, fine leg back, long on back, and a straight mid-wicket coming in from the fence, and a deep backward square. So 4 men on the onside. The discussion with Mohamed Nabi. Sammy is at extra cover inside the ring. Yeah, not a great delivery, and yes it has. There it is. There's a maximum.
Balance of power is shifting. And we talked previous delivery that Curtin missed out. Now he gets a full toss outside off stump with a man in at mid-off. Not even a long off would have been able to hold on to it, but that's a bad ball. Now mid-off goes back to long off, so the balance of power is shifting. Curtin is only in because he's an emerging player.
Well done, Spicy, with the mitts on.
You see, this is what is I'm sorry, I'm just telling you how I see it. This is what is confusing me about Kesrick Williams. You bring the fine leg up, you drop the mid-off back to long off, and then you go to bowl the ball that you should have bowled to the previous field, the previous 2 balls. What are you doing to your captain?
100% Vish. Darren's inquiring now. Remonstrating here as the captain. He is a little upset, and understandably.
Because it hits the pad, but there's a short fine leg. So anything onto that would have run away for 4. He's very fortunate. For me, Kesrick has bowled 3 bad balls. I'm not saying it's easy. I have failed in this situation during my career. But you want to see him miss his length on the correct line at least. Come on, Kesrick.
Yeah, and he's a specialist in this situation. This is what he's in the side for, at the start and at the finish, to squeeze things out. There it is, spot on. He'll say, there you go, Skip. Castle, curtain, gone.
Excellent. Good comeback. It took a lot of persuading. One, not only to take pace off it, but at least to bowl at the stumps. Too much for the under-23 emerging player, Nicholas Curtin. Sammy's in his ears again. Keep talking to him. Curtin goes for 25, 129 for 8. Still going. He's still going. Sammy still wants communication to be clear.
.129 for 8 here. 17 from 7. Sandeep Lamachani, the youngster. Spin Twins are out in the middle with bats in hand. Can they be heroes here for the JTs? Sun starting to set. Clobbered and gone. Nubby gets in the way, all too simple. In and out, Lamachani without troubling the scorers here.
Oh, Keswick, it's a pressure situation, but it would seem as though you've come through it. Man back at long on. Wicket taken. One more to go. Lamachani without scoring, 129 for 9.
Divine little shot. The Lara Academy Oval here. South side of Trini. Number 11, Fidel Edwards. The old speedster. Finds himself out in the centre with the pads on and bat in hand. None for 84 is what the Tallawahs were in this reply. Extraordinary. And Fletch having a little word. Don't leave anything in the locker, son. Get the long handle out. Can you do it, Fidel? There we go. 17 from 6. Roston Chase. Penultimate over, so key. Couple of wickets to fall. Did very well in the end, Fidel, after a dodgy little first half of the over. A little posse here. Leaves to Majid. Tough gig this for the tail. Now Majid, I don't know how big a ball he can hit. Having to smoke one here and create some interest. Can he get a maximum? Put some pressure on Chase. Direct hit. I think he was gone. Still, it's only another single. 15 from 4. Huge ask for these two from the Tallawahs. Yep. Not even in the frame. Fidel Edwards. Clothed another single. Oh, it's a tough gig when your big mates up the order don't do the job for you. You've run in and bowled your heart out. The batters have, well, conked out. Well done, the Zouks. They'll be feeling better about life going into the semis for sure. Matchbox 30, just about all done and dusted. Gee, I think he'll leave that one in the locker. Captain Marvel, a couple of very good catches at slip. And those in blue have done the trick.
Sammy should be very pleased with Zahir Khan in particular and the way once again he's marshaled his troops, but I can't say it enough. The Tallawahs will feel this is another game that they should have done much better.
$50-9 is what they have lost, and that is why they've lost this game. Jamaica Tallawahs, yep, they were 84 without loss, folks. And Jermaine Blackwood dug himself a very big hole, and it really did start to stutter from there for the JTs. But the Zouks, they get up by 11 here in match 30. Just the tonic they would need heading into semis on Tuesday. Day off tomorrow, as we all can appreciate. But what a good little workout for the Zouks here.
Yeah, well done to Sammy and his men. I thought 145 was slightly under par. But once again, Sammy has managed his bowlers well without Scott Kugelheim. And they've squeezed out another victory. For the Tallawahs, they continue to have questions over the batting form of Brathwaite, of Powell. Blackwood struggled today. When you bowl straight at him and you protect his driving areas, he finds it hard to score. So questions still to be answered for Tallawahs and for Johan Blake, who I'm sure was watching again.
Johan, love your work. He won't be loving his franchise, though. From second again. It has to be said, I think, very, very good surface. But that's it for this side of Lara. We're going to be right smack in the middle. Your old brothers hanging in. There we go. Right there. Grant Lee, look after that middle pitch, please, sir. So will the ground staff. Yeah, right smack in the middle is where we're going to be for Tuesday, and of course the final on Thursday. Keep saying it, but a stunning stadium. Well, at the top there, Glenn Phillips, the standout for sure. And Blackwood, who got 74 yesterday, struggled galore. Look at that, 38 deliveries for 25, and then everyone else struggled. And Curtin showed glimpses with that nice little cameo there, a 25 from 15, the under-23 player, the emerging youngster. They run out of gas. Simple as that. Look at that, 84 without loss. Unbelievable. So there, yeah, crazy, crazy scene. Extras 14 stood out. 3 for 25 with 10 dots, and 3 for 16 for young Javal Glenn. 2 for 27 to Williams at the death there. But the wrist spinners having a say again here in match 30. So in summary, 145 for 6 was good enough, thanks to Najibullah, Cornwall and Chase getting into the 30s. And then in reply, they simply stuttered along and couldn't get out of second gear. Jamaica, 134 for 9. A win by 11 runs to the St. Lucia Zouks. Digicel highlights bundle. The reply looking for 146. Then Phillips, who's been very consistent over the season for the JTs. Blackwood, well, a lucky start for him.
Yeah, he really struggled today. Boundaries for him were few and far between. His timing was off. But Phillips was quite good as usual. He brings his A game almost every time. He doesn't always succeed, but more often than not, you know that he gives you that effort. Did it again today. Leading run scorer of the tournament, and while he was there, the Tallawahs always felt they were in with a chance.
Yeah, they're just good cricket strokes, just sensible batting. playing the percentages. Yeah, look at that. Straight as an arrow. Wonderful stroke. And then that is a peach. He's done on the flight there. Zahir, what a cracker. Now, Mr. Blackwood. On that is it. There is the classic catch of this 8th edition of the Hero CPL. What an absolute beauty. Captain Marple. And then another one. El Dorado, look out, here we come. Dre Russell out first ball. That's how much it means. Goal. And the run out here, little slip here from Chadwick Walton. Get back, Chatters! No, came second. What a great throw from Nudgy Buller. Right on the button. Carlos, that's not a good strike, my friend. No, that is dead. Absolutely plumb. Jamal Glenn. And again. Pamala, first ball, golden duck. That was a lovely stroke. Got all of it and some. What a big piece of it.